What's going on, guys? In this video, I'll tell you the reasons why your chest is still small. You go to the gym, you train hard, following a good training plan, but your chest is not growing. And I know you might be like, hey, I know all the reasons, don't worry. The reason number one will shock you. And trust me, it's something you've never heard before. Alright, so let's jump straight into it. Why your chest is not growing. Are you ready for reason number one? It will shock you, and leave a like if it does, or a dislike, just engage. Alright, reason number one. Something that a lot of physios, a lot of trainers preach, that is wrong, that is not helping you out. Guess what it is? Squeezing your shoulder back and down. Stop doing this. Squeezing your shoulder back and down is just limiting your chest movement, all right? Your chest stimulation. Your chest is being limited when you keep that squeezing back and down. You're jamming your scapulas in a position where yes, it's safer. Yes, it's gonna help you bench more. So if you're a power lifter or you're trying to bench very heavy weight, but if your goal is building muscle mass, you don't necessarily want to focus on things that will help you lift more weight. All right, so you gotta kind of reprogram that mind, and squeezing your shoulder back and down. Just try doing it now. Put your hand on your chest, squeeze your shoulder back and down, and try moving your arm. You'll probably feel a little bit of chest engagement, but mostly what you're doing is moving your triceps and shoulders. All right, so you'll feel a lot more your triceps and shoulders. Now, don't squeeze and move your chest. Just move that arm back and down, back and forward. You'll feel your chest working so much more. All right, so stop squeezing that shoulder back and down. You know, physios used to always preach about that, and it messed up a lot of people because first of all, it increases the risk of injury. Aside of not getting as much chest engagement, the risk of injury, you know why? Because when you keep squeezing, you know, when I was 18, I used to walk always like this, chest, shoulder back and down, chest up. I looked like a chicken walking all the time like this. Had a lot of issues because when you're doing this, you're jamming your scapula back. You're creating a lot of compression on your muscles, and then the nerve that goes from your neck all the way to your hand is always being compressed by those muscles that you're always tightening up. You keep a lot of tension where it shouldn't be, and it will create a lot of bad drawbacks later on. People are deadlifting sometimes and they have shoulder back and down. Some people are shoulder pressing with their shoulder back and down. Why are you doing this? All right, you're just kind of removing the engagement from the place you want it to be. But especially with the chest exercises, I realized it a lot when I'm putting I keep my shoulder back and down. I'm barely able to feel my chest. Yes, it's a lot safer on the shoulders and you can lift heavier. But there's a way of doing it where you kind of set your shoulder blades in the position where they kind of sit on your rib cage. I'll do another video on it, but you kind of want to scoop and engage your lats. All right, so when you're engaging your lats as you're pressing, and you're engaging your lats as you're doing your push-ups, as you're doing your flies, you're still protecting that shoulder, but without jamming that shoulder back and down and compressing all your muscles. Shoulder back and down, chest up. Worst cues ever, because first of all, chest up, shoulder back and down, it also creates you're breaking your rib cage. You kind of can't brace properly. You become just like this, and this is just gonna create a lot of issues long term. But let's go back to the source of the video. It's gonna impact your shoulder engagement. All right, so stop doing the shoulder back and down. Try kind of engaging your lats, trying to engaging that muscle here, the serratus anterior, as you're benching, as you're doing your presses also, as you're doing your sides, as you're doing your flies, instead of keeping that shoulder back and down. All right, so that's number one. And hey, might sound like nothing, but trust me, it's a huge thing. And I have clients that I coach and I touch their muscles, and sometimes I'm like, put your shoulder back and down and do a set. And I'll touch their chest, and there's a little bit of engagement, a lot more on their triceps and shoulder. Now I'm like, relax. Just think about engaging, squeezing your armpit a bit, engage those lats, and bring your elbows down and up. And guess what? The chest fires up like crazy. So we gotta reprogram our mind a lot of times, and that's just the lesson of life. A lot of times in life, our mind is programmed in a way that is sabotaging us. And we think we're doing something good, but we are sabotaging ourselves. So that was number one. Number two, I would tell you, is that you're focused way too much on the weight. Stop thinking about adding more weight on the bar. Stop thinking about adding more weight between each set. Stop thinking that progressive overload only means more weight. Stop ego lifting. Stop trying to impress everybody and pushing the 315 at the gym because it's not benefiting you much. All right, so drop down that weight, increase your reps, increase your time under tension. Don't go too fast. Take your time. Good weight. You don't need to go so heavy. Make sure that you have that good mind-muscle connection, good range of motion. So those are very important things. I made a whole video about those, so I'm putting them all into one point now. It's the time under tension, making sure that you have a good range of motion, making sure that the weight you're using is not so heavy, making sure that you're not doing strength sets that are just 3 or 5 reps, but going more for the high reps, making sure that you're getting close to failure, that you're not taking a lot of rest. All those things are very important. All right, a lot of people do too much rest, and it's not gonna benefit you because you want to grow your muscles, so you're gonna want to get them to failure. So you're giving them too much time to rest, and then you can't get those muscles to failure in the proper amount of time because they're resting too much. All right, so all that I'll cover it into one point, and then I'll finish with the number 3, just because I want to keep that video short and sweet. Number 3 is you're overcomplicating stuff. All right, you're overcomplicating stuff. That's just the reality of it. There are few exercises that work, few exercises that you gotta be focusing on, and that's it. Put all your eggs in the baskets that will give you the most bang for your buck. All right, don't try to reinvent the wheel. Don't try to go for very complicated stuff. Keep things simple. All right, the bench press, the incline press, the chest flies. I see people doing exercises where they're lying on the floor and they have to bring this mat and that mat and this. Overcomplicating stuff. Keep things simple. The exercises that are proven to work, and stick with them and improve on those basics. All right, master the basics, improve on the basics, and don't overcomplicate stuff. That's pretty much it, because I see so many people overcomplicating every single thing, overcomplicating and stressing the details without giving enough attention to what's going to give you 80% of your results. All right, so put all your energy in the things that will give you the most. So the exercises, it's really about the exercises, because I love telling people to stick with the basics. I tell people free weights and a barbell, it's all you need. All right, maybe some cables for some triceps work, but in reality, we don't need all the fancy equipment with the hammer strength and this and that. If anything, I would say that those things made us weaker. The machines made us weaker, because now you're isolating a lot of muscles. Your body can't work as a whole. And then when you're doing something in the real world that doesn't require an isolation, your body just is not used to doing that, and then you get injured. Whereas when you're focusing on the compound lifts, your incline press, your bench press, without the Smith machine, without any hammer machine, while you're engaging a lot of stabilizers muscles, and also the impact it has on your nervous system is so much different and better than sitting on a machine. A lot of people want to isolate stuff, and they overcomplicate it. I want to isolate this upper chest, and they look in the mirror and they squeeze and this fiber right here, so that's why I'm gonna twist as I'm pressing, and I'm gonna get the cable and I'm gonna raise it all the way up and squeeze. That's all BS, man. When you're doing your push-ups, you're working your whole chest. Stop with this lower, upper, mid chest, side chest, wider chest. This is all BS, and this is all people that were trying to make something overcomplicating something that is very simple just to sell things. All right, yes, you can target more upper chest when you go to the incline press, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't mean that you're not targeting that upper chest when doing properly push-ups, when doing your bench press also. It doesn't mean that it's just your mid chest. And there's nothing that would say this is for wider chest, this is to make your chest more dense, this is for the inner chest, this is for the outer chest. All BS. Stick with the basics, stick with what works, and get better at that. Let's simplify life. Life is simple. We overcomplicate things. Thank you guys for watching, and hope all of you guys get huge chest, because when you walk down the street with a good chest, it just feels good. See you guys soon. Ciao.